just for a minute. Close your eyes for a second.
Posh fam, I'm going to try and keep this particular commentary quick and short and straight to the point, okay? We are recapping all things episode 8 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm losing light. It's getting darker, quicker nowadays. We're no longer in summer. We're now entering the cooler months. And so we lose sunlight at maybe 5:30 if I'm not mistaken. But before we get into all the shenanigans, that was episode 8. If you haven't yet subscribed, Posh Fam, I don't know what you're waiting for. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to 2 new subscribers of mine. I got a notification that I got 2 new subscribers. So to the 2 of you, thank you. And you're welcome. Share this channel with your family. Let them to subscribe. I hope you stay on and like my videos. Comment as well. You never know. You might be getting a personal shout out from me. Now, very, very quickly, let's unpack. Shout out to Kempire. I think he got a new gig. And in the same breath, he got blocked by Porsha. He got blocked by Porsha for saying the truth with regards to the commentary following the episode that aired on Monday. Now, this is my take. There wasn't much to talk about. We're just going to head straight to the main event. The main event was the stuff that actually happened behind the scenes. So, and this is the problem with me. We are not getting the most conversations with the cameras rolling. Most of the conversations are happening off camera. And I'm like, what are production doing? Shouldn't they get these girls mic'd 24/7? Because apparently they know when to, cause chaos, and then we are like getting the backstory after the fact. And I'm like, absolutely not. This isn't fair. Now, we know Drew made it to Nashville to join the girls, and she was received by Cynthia and Angela. Very quickly, Angela wanted to get her up to speed on the fact that it might have been tardy for her to invite her, but she still stand on business saying Porsha didn't say no. If Porsha, didn't want her there, Porsha could have said, no, don't invite her. But Porsha was sort of on the fence, and she went on ahead to invite Drew. And so she felt maybe Drew could, try and speak with Porsha and address some things and some concerns if need be. I'm going to give it to Drew here. Drew gave it a red hot crack. She did. However, Porsha is trying to go for straws now. Porsha is just now picking straws because there is nothing to this beef. It's giving desperation. It's giving, I'm going to hang on to this storyline for dear life. That's what it's giving. Now, very quickly, the girls decided they were going to go whiskey drinking. And this was where I think we got to hear a little bit more about Porsha's mood, because all of a sudden Porsha's mood turned. And I don't know if it turned because she heard Drew was present. She refused to come downstairs to have breakfast with the ladies. She actually had to eat leftovers in her bedroom. And she said she just got what? Because I think her mood definitely did turn while they were having the bus ride to this winery or whatever. And Cynthia was trying to get her to speak on why she's upset or why she's sort of, sad and sulking. To which she said she just got an information from Atlanta saying that Dennis is filming with Drew. Now, hang on a minute. Is Porsha telling me that 8 episodes in, she just got to find out that Dennis is shooting with Drew? I don't understand what's going on here. Is it that these two ain't got any storyline and they are trying their best to make Drew the bad guy here? Because there's no way Dennis isn't communicating with his baby mama what's happening between him and Drew. Now, we can say for a fact, because if you look at Porsha's YouTube channel, which is all over the place, by the way, she recently had a sit down with Dennis, her baby daddy, and she was literally looking her best. I mean, she made all the effort to look her best because she's trying. I'm not sure what she's trying to do. Is she spinning the block? Is she? What's going on? Because they seem to have a good relationship, co-parenting. However, I think there's a little bit more than this. maybe Porsha really wants this guy back. Porsha is probably desperate, man hungry, and Dennis seems to be, old faithful. You want to go back to your sloppy seconds. It is for what it's worth. They have a child together, so it happens. You can go back, make up, and be together. Who's to say they are not going to do that? But whilst we wait for them to make that decision, we're going to be speculating, as we all do here. That's our job. Again, I think it was during this particular winery section, because they were divided into two. I'm going to speak on Shemia a little bit, because for some reason, I think Shemia is doing too much now. Or rather, her storyline is not gelling, or she's trying to make up a storyline again. This particular episode was boring. I'm giving it a D again, because there was no substance. Angela and Drew seem to be the only one carrying this particular season. And I must say, Drew carried the season last season, and here she's doing extra work carrying the season. And all thanks to Porsha making her storyline. Well, the girls agreed that maybe, as a peace offering, Drew should get a wine, or what's it called, tequila, or whatever. They drink a lot, and see how that smooths things. And very quickly, they were done with their session. However, on camp, Porsha and the crew, Porsha seemed to put all the blame and pile on Angela. I think she alluded to the fact that she feels the way Angela went about the invitation, re-echoing that she's invited Drew, made it seem like there was something wrong, and when in fact she was trying to set Drew up. Hang on, Porsha. I'm not sure what catalog you're reading from. There was no way this chick tried. I'm only commenting on what I've seen so far. Angela is making an effort. She has seen that there's a discord between the two of you, and that discord is impacting the group dynamics. Heck, you guys had a cast girls trip and you decided to exclude her. So there is that factor. She needs to be filming with the group, and if one person is excluded from the whole dynamics because you've got the other girls on your side, it begs the question, why is she there? What is production doing about this? And so Angela, I guess production is also encouraging her to be the peacemaker, and she's doing exactly, I think, what's right. They had dinner, and it was at this dinner table that things sort of went left. Like I said, there wasn't much to speak on about this particular episode. And during the dinner, Drew walked up to, or rather sat down, and it was more giving the peace offering with the tequila, like, happy birthday. I think she kind of apologized about being there, even though she wasn't invited. To which Porsha literally ignored this girl, and the other girls were making snide comments. Brit, Shemia, they were having fun with this one. And I think Drew wasn't really in a good place, giving the judge decision to unseal their divorce proceedings. She just said, I'm not going to deal with this. I've given it a red hot crack. And Drew, we are behind you on this. I think she left the wine on the table and walked off, and literally said she was going back to Atlanta. And we saw her packing her things and left. So there wasn't, I know the way it aired, the way the trailer came, it felt like as if there was going to be a huge blowout between Porsha and Drew. Guys, Drew paid this girl dust. She did not entertain her BS. And I'm like, yes, that's how you handle kids. That's how you handle childish games. Because this is exactly what it is. It's very childish of Porsha to be holding on to straws when, in fact, there's really nothing. Now, speaking of straws, we're going to get back to the way this particular episode ended. Shemia is having issues back home. Her little girl, I think, had an ear infection. And during the bus ride, okay, this is where it got a little bit, I was confused with this particular scene. During the bus ride, all of a sudden, she was emotional, and the girls were like, okay, what's going on? So for me, Shemia, were you trying to steal the moment from Porsha because it's your girlfriend's birthday, right? I'm not sure what brought about the tears. She's talking about her there was a PSA that Cynthia did a few seasons back. I can't even remember. That's how long ago it's been. And I think it was more on domestic violence. And Shemia did have a cameo on that to share her previous relationship where she was, she's a victim of domestic violence. And I think for some reason, someone from 2018 decided we're going to apologize in the moment on the bus ride and acknowledge the fact that Shemia was right in whatever conversation that was had, or vindicating Shemia, and Shemia was emotional about it. I was like, oh God, it's giving fake. I'm not like, I was like, huh? Hang on, what is this? And that also brought all the girls having to talk about domestic abuse and all. I'm like, girl, please. I mean, there is a moment for it. It is a serious situation. In fact, it's a situation here in Australia that we are contending with. And I am not going to, minimize anyone that has gone through domestic violence. However, with the way it came across, it felt like Shemia needed a moment to just be the center of attention. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it with it. So, I'm not sure how this particular scene unfolded because this is from the confessional of Angela. Basically, the girls, they had one too many alcohol, guys. And so there was no surprise that when you are that intoxicated, you say and do things that you might naturally wouldn't do when you're not under the influence of something. So according to the backstory, because again, this happened behind the scenes. Angela was on the phone with her husband and could hear down below the girls making so much noise, and they were talking about her. And I think somewhere along the line, Porsha insinuated, well, it's now clear and confirmed that Porsha did say that if Angela is not careful, she's gonna go and have an intimate relationship with Charles, Angela's husband, making it seem like she is that girl that can steal your man, and your man has got no self-control in avoiding her as a temptation. I think Angela had this, recorded some of it, which was inaudible because we couldn't hear most of the conversations. Well, following this particular recording and following this particular conversation, Kelly came on her confessionals to actually say for a fact that Porsha said those things. Brit, of course, took the fence, sat on the fence, and slept on the fence. Shemia, well, she's literally, you can find, if you're looking for Shemia, you find her somewhere between Porsha's butt cheeks. She's there. The sun is not shining, so you can't actually see her. You need a few neon lights or that, very high impact torch light to see Shemia's head right there, because it's giving, I am going to write for you, despite the fact that you might be wrong. I'm going to be rooting and writing for you. Yeah. So we do not know how this will play out, and this is where it ended. We saw the next morning Angela packing her things and leaving. Now, I respect Angela for this. Seriously, she is giving OG vibes. I've used giving in so many ways today. She is exhibiting OG seasoned. She's not giving, like, there's no rookie attitude from her. She is well blended. She knows how this game is played. She's not about to let Porsha cost her check. And so she just walked off. Classy lady walked off and left. I think Kelly was trying to, coast her to talk or smile. And she was like, I'm not gonna be fake. I'm not fake. I'm not doing this fakery. I was like, you go, girl. So I guess episode 9, we're gonna find out the fallout from Nashville. But If you're going to be telling me to give a score with the Nashville girl strip, it is a -2. And that is me being really nice. There was nothing to the strip. There was no drama. They tried and tried to give us drama, but you could see it was well rehearsed. It was, even the fact that it was well rehearsed, we could see right through the shenanigans. And that is it, guys. If I have missed any part of the conversations today, just come on the comment section and give your opinion. I welcome your opinion. We can have a conversation going. And thank you so much for staying on and subscribing. Remember, you are deserving. Always, always stay safe and be focused. Bye.